I'll call her, but I'll let Debbie know.
Call the meeting to order.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So we got the minutes of the previous meeting. Draft. I'm gonna do the opening meetings to the public now, a bit out of order today. So minutes of the previous meeting,
Make a motion to be accepted as read or printed.
Second that?
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Today's bills, any questions from the board?
We have one addition this evening. It's the LaBarge Agency in the amount of $78,409.05. That's for your public officials, business auto, umbrella owner, contractors for protective liability, the commercial package, and the commercial crime insurance packages. They all start July 1st.
I make a motion, we pay the bills as amended?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Correspondence?
We received a letter from, Kathleen Fosher, who worked as a volunteer with Donna Racine in the history office for many years. Dear Ms. Sullivan, I'm sending this letter in regard to a proposal that I would like to suggest to honor our village historian, Donna Racine. I have known and worked with Donna as a volunteer at the historical office for many years. Working with Donna, one could see she was a very dedicated historian and educator. Donna put in long hours and endless energy in her passion for the village of Rouses Point regarding its local history. The proposal I would suggest is a plaque on the door reading, "In loving memory, the Donna Racine Rouses Point History Collection. Sincerely, Kathleen Fosher." And I did discuss with her that we don't have a historian right now, and we don't know if the collection will stay in that actual room, but if we word it like that, the history collection, even if we do move it to the History or Welcome Center or anywhere else in the future, we could always move the plaque too, because it says the Rouses Point History Collection, and anywhere that collection were to go, the plaque honoring Donna Racine could go with it.
Oh, for one thing, we don't have enough room up at the railroad station to put the stuff that we have upstairs.
No, we don't. And but it could take, maybe we'll have a history museum someday. That would be fabulous. That could take 5 years, 10 years, whatever. In the meantime, it'll still be in that room, and we could put a plaque on that door honoring Donna, and then if the collection ever goes anywhere else, the plaque would just go with the collection.
Sounds good to me, because it stays with the collection. So it'd be like the Donna Racine Historic.
She used the middle initial too, so I believe Donna L. Racine.
Yep.
Rouses Point History Collection.
And it would travel with the
Right,
history collection.
Right. So if someone on the board would put it into the form of a motion,
You should probably have a formal resolution for that.
And do we need to,
anything?
we should probably need to type up a formal resolution for that kind of thing.
Okay, I'll bring a resolution to the next meeting.
Okay. Okay, and this is where I'm putting open the meeting to the public today, because I wanted to get that stuff done. We got a bunch of the members of the 4th of July committee with us today, and I wanted to make this as part of the reports of the mayor and trustees, as all of us will appreciate the work that you guys did, and we have signed certificates of appreciation for you. It's not Dale Menard's actual signature, he's on vacation in Florida, so we asked someone to sign for him, so I put Dean Menard. But we all like to thank you for all the work that you did. There's only 4 of you here, so you might have to pass this out with everybody else.
We're gonna meet it tomorrow, we can bring it with us. Thank you for that.
Well,
Thank you for your involvement.
you're welcome, I didn't do that much.
All
You guys
of
did
it.
most of it.
You guys did. Thank you. Do you want me to just take them?
I'll just give them all to you.
All right.
Thank you all for your hard work.
Thank you. That's great.
Would the board like to thank them as well?
Yeah, I'd like to thank you guys, it was a great job, lots of fun.
Yep, I like to thank the whole committee and stuff like that, did a well job done, very well. Very appreciated.
hopefully bigger and better next year.
We
That's what
appreciate
we're
you.
hoping. 'Cause this is the start of a bigger and better celebration, and it's nice to see all the new faces that come forward and help us. And it is very appreciated. And I know there was a lot of comments from the public out there that were very happy to see it come back, especially after the tough year of COVID that we had. Definitely. So,
Thank you all. Okay, we've got 4 things today. I'm gonna just have them all done as a slate. Authorization to execute a sewer engineering grant, and authorization for the local match for the grant. Determination that the project is a type 2 action under seeker, and an authorization to execute the agreement with Barton Rouses. This is to continue on the smoke testing for the sewer system to determine where else we've got like ingress of the water going in for storm drains and everything.
I see that the grant is for $30,000,
Yep.
correct?
Yep.
There's a $6,000 match. I looked through the budget today out of the wastewater budget, and I don't see where there's $6,000 in there.
Part of the match was gonna be having like the road crew doing flags and.
Actually, we'll shoot for
Weather's
the
gonna
whole
be-
match to be in-kind work.
All in-kind work, so
Yeah.
there's no money out of pocket.
No.
Okay. It's good to know.
That's
Just
what we're
like I
aiming
said, I
for.
went through the wastewater budget today, and I didn't see, there's not really a sludge fund in there for anything, and the way our budget is so tight this year, well, I'm just kind of concerned, 6,000 here, 5,000 there, it gets
Right.
expensive. But if somebody keeps track of all the man hours and man hours, it can be matched with the in-kind services, definitely.
We should be able to match it fairly easy. So I'm just going to move that we do all of these as one vote, unless there's any other questions. You have a question, Ben?
I'm all set.
Okay. Do we have a second?
Second. Whatever.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I need a roll call vote
Oh, roll call
for
vote, sorry.
resolutions.
Trustee Arno?
Aye.
Trustee Pelkey?
Aye.
Trustee Rodriguez?
Aye.
Mayor votes aye. And then we have an authorization to add Deputy Mayor Menard to the bank account.
I'll put that in the form of a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Arno?
Aye.
Trustee Pelkey?
Aye.
Trustee Rodriguez?
Aye.
Requesting an executive session to talk about a particular employee.
I'm
Second
sorry,
that.
I don't want me to interrupt, but Jed, are you voting aye on the resolution 19 also?
For Dale Menard? Or
For
Trustee
you.
Menard?
Are you voting aye?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't hear you say that, the mayor
Oh.
voted aye on the second one.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Yep. And then give you some extra time to write down the executive session request.
Okay, no, I caught up.
Okay. Trustee Arno?
That you don't need a roll call for.
I'd like to have an executive session on a particular person and the history.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Uh,
That's 2.
I was gonna thank the 4th of July committee, but we already did, so. The fire department, chicken barbecue went very well. They sold out in a couple hours. So they did well, they were very pleased, and the people that come through the line were really pleased at that. The rec center, I talked to Nathan, and the electric department, they still do not have their CPR class. And the farmer's market is doing very well. Other than that, I don't have nothing else for now.
Trustee Menard is in Florida. Trustee Pelkey?
conversation with Jan, our rec leader, and we talked about the picnic tables that were put out by the playground equipment, and she's very, very satisfied with that. She's ordering 5 more benches. 2 of them are gonna go in the park for the shuffleboard. 2 she's trying to put like in the tennis courts, so she's working with Harry McManus about that, and we have 1 spare. But I think that the picnic tables is a good idea to keep out there permanently, because they're composite and they're
Yep.
weatherproof, and people are really utilizing them.
Mhm.
And when it comes time for these activities for like karate and underneath the pavilion, they have to move all those picnic tables out. So those composite ones are so heavy, you need a machine to lift them, so it'd be good to just keep them out there.
Right.
And I didn't know if they brought that other picnic table from the village office down here?
Yes.
Did they? So we must have enough for the stage committee?
There's only 1 table down there left.
Okay,
Yeah, the big one, the 10-foot one is down here someplace.
okay.
Yeah.
I started going through the union contract. I think we all need to take a look at it, because the union contract is coming up next June. And there's a lot of language in there that needs to be clarified. There's some gray areas that we need to all put our heads together and look at different ways that we can clarify this language. And of course, there's increases, like the health insurance. They're proposing a 9.84% increase. So that's gonna be on top of our budget next year.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of things we have to consider. There's a lot of stuff that we can take out, like our police department. We no
Yeah.
longer have that, so I'm trying to exit out and clarify it. And if everybody could take apart and just go through it and get their thoughts, so we can get this up and running by fall. Hopefully we can have a contract, so when we do our budget, we'll be ready for it.
Okay.
Rather than prolonging it and not be ready. I think everybody is understanding that, we have to be fair, we're just looking for a fair contract, that's both sides, so. Been getting good feedback from them, so. The property that's on the property that we talked about surplusing on Rabideau Way, I wish our attorney was here tonight, but unfortunately he's not, because I talked to the town assessor, and he said that to divide it up the way we want, we would have to go through the zoning board of appeals and do a lot of footwork for ourselves. He recommended get it appraised, so it's fair market value, and then sell it as the lot. And keep the right-of-way as a utility right-of-way. And then if they want to divide it up, they'll have to go through all the procedures. But I would like to get Tom's feedback on it, so maybe at the next meeting, we can talk more about it. But that's what it's looking like. So if we do want to get rid of that property, that's probably the way to do it.
How much would it cost for the legwork?
For their appraisal, that's what I,
Well, going through to subdivide it before we sell it.
the problem with subdividing it before you sell it, it's gonna be worth less.
Because there's no road access.
Right. So they're recommending sell it with the road access, that way we can get more money. It's assessed for $49,000, and Tim thinks that we can get more for it than that if we sell it all in one piece. I just like to see it back on the tax roll, because we'll never use that property, and we've been sitting on it for over 20 years. And we
Yeah.
have to maintain it, and we have to insure it, so I'm just trying to save us some money.
Yep. And the 44-foot access that we have.
47, yeah.
Or 47,
It would be a,
20.
it would be a utility right away.
Yeah.
So if we ever have to dig it up to put pipes through there, we would be able to. Because we do have our outfall line already that goes through there.
Yep.
So we don't have to talk about the 4th of July. We hit that all pretty good. But I would like to request a copy of our attorney's contract for review. Is that something I can get?
I believe so, yeah.
Do I need board approval for that?
No.
I don't
If
think
it's a
so.
contract, you can just get it.
I need one executive session to discuss a particular person.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Right.
good. That's everything for tonight.
Can I mention something about picnic tables real quick?
Yeah.
There's a picnic table, so it was a handicap picnic table for wheelchairs, or it was extended on one side so people with wheelchairs could fit under there. Could you find out what something like that would cost with the composite, so we could get some of those set up for the handicapped people?
Definitely, yeah.
Because it'd be nice to have a couple of them placed around for people with wheelchairs.
Because when I talked to her, she was, she was talking about 4-foot benches and 5-foot benches, and she only has so much money, so if she buys, or 6-foot benches, it's out there, and she only has so much money, so she's looking to buy 5. So
A
unfortunately,
composite picnic table is gonna cost you about $1,100.
Yeah.
well, we can get a price on it, and if they can make them handicapped. It would be nice to have like, maybe the cement pad that they're on a little bit larger, so a wheelchair could go on the end, probably.
Yep.
I don't know, it's just a thought, but.
They go along
I'd
with
like to see
increasing
a
accessibility.
Couple benches and a picnic table down on the lake shore, down behind the coffee shop. I'd like to see something down there too.
Well, that's a piece of property that the village owns. Unfortunately, we never did anything with it. I mean, we ended up with that property with a grant, and I think the way the grant was written, that it has to stay in the village's hands as like recreation or
Yeah.
village use. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what.
Well, there are 2 pieces of property there.
Yeah, I don't know what we'll ever do with it.
Yeah. So we might as well put a picnic table down there and a couple benches so people could sit down there if they wanted to.
Get something to eat or drink at the coffee shop and go behind and sit there.
Yeah.
What's the access rights that we've got?
Do we,
There's an
do we
8-foot.
maintain that? Do we mow it?
No.
Someone else has been mowing that?
Somebody else mows it?
Yeah, it's the neighbor right there.
So we forgot what kind of access rights we've got to the
I think there's a
property,
6-foot right of way down through there.
which would be good enough to put a sidewalk or some sort of paved surface for people to walk down.
I think it's a driveway now, right?
Yep.
Between the two
That's all it
buildings,
is, a
there's a
driveway.
driveway
It
there.
could just be a dirt driveway.
I think they're 2 landlocked pieces. One is for sure.
Yes.
The old the old,
The Martin house
the
and
small one. The
the
small
Roberts, or Mrs. Cassin's house.
Yeah. There were 2 houses on there that we tore down years ago. And they were talking about putting a dock out there and having access.
Mr. Rivers bought that property.
Who?
Mr. Rivers. Yeah.
Well, they're talking about having like a place to have docks with, kayaks, and maybe someday, we can apply for grants and put a nice dock out there, so when people come up with their power boats, they'll have a place to park, and they can walk up through our downtown and go to our coffee shops and our restaurants, and
Yep.
it'd be nice. It's too bad to just have the property, just sit there on
Yeah,
ice.
sit there in limbo, do nothing.
Unfortunately, funds are not available, and, hopefully there's some money out there.
Well, we could build it into the comprehensive plan.
Maybe,
That would increase the odds for grants.
Or either that or put a gazebo down on top of there or something.
or maybe the next time that the politicians are in town, Billy Jones or anyone, we can hit them up for some money. They always have a little bit of money they can maybe throw toward a nice park, especially if we can dedicate it in somebody's memory.
Well, Mr. Rivers, I've been talking to Mr. Rivers, and he said if the mayor would go to Washington and talk to the congressman down there and stuff like that, you could probably get some more money for different things like that. But you gotta go down there and talk to them.
Yeah. And I know Elise Stefani, so I could probably get her to invite me to her office, have her show me around, and we can talk about stuff like that. I don't know, I've never met Chuck Schumer.
Well, George talked to him quite a few times, Mr. Schumer.
Okay. That's it? I've got, okay. Trustee Rodriguez, you don't have anything?
No, we touched everything.
Okay, any other reports?
Nothing.
Any public comments? No. Going into recess. recess for the executive session.
I put that in the form of a motion.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye. I'd like to have Mr. Menard stay for the executive session. I'd like to talk about him.
Okay, absolutely.
Get you in trouble.